Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm just filming on the 2003 Volvo S40, which is my daily driver car. These do get quite bad reputations. Most people find them unreliable. Mine's okay, mine's fine, no issues whatsoever. Had it serviced, I think it was last week or maybe the week before. And there's no little bit of rust, nothing. Bear in mind it's a 2003. Anyway, I bought this car after I had a Ford Fiesta. But you guys previously seen a video of me saying about a Volvo Insignia 2.2 litre diesel. That was also on the YouTube channel, filmed I think it was 4 or 5 months ago. Maybe less than that, really. But anyway, long story short, I had Volvo Insignia first as my first car. That was a 2.2 litre diesel. Then I had a Ford. That was after I had a Fiat van, Fiat Doppler van. That was a 1.3 multi-jet. Then I had a Ford Fiesta Max 6, 2004. Climate Z-Tech, that was a 1.2, and then I bought this, a Volvo S40 2 litre turbo diesel. I know the camera's shaky, my bad, the roads are really bad around here, and I'm using my iPhone 12 Pro to film this video on my window. It's a window phone holder, so it vibrates quite a lot. I do apologise about that. I will sort it out in future videos. But anyway, get to the point of this car. So 2003 Volvo S40 diesel, and it's my daily driver. I use it for everything, taking the kids to school, or even as far as going shopping, go down to see my family. You get the point, because it's a daily driver. But anyway, I do drive this car. I've had it for 3 weeks, and I've already done, give me a second, let's go around this bend. I've already done 1,328 miles in this car in 3 weeks. So it's very good. Diesel on this car, some people say the fuel economy is really, really bad. I don't know who tells them up, because they're talking load of shit. Because this car is really good on diesel. I put £40 in it the other day to go down to see my family in Lantwit. I went down there to see them, and from my house I live in Lampeter, so it takes roughly about an hour and a half, depending how you drive and how, if you're stuck in traffic and stuff. It took me just an hour to get there. Then, anyway, I put £40 in, and that put me just well over half a tank, and currently I'm just under half a tank, and I have been using the car since, going out on places. From empty to full, this car does take, I think it's £105, from 0 to, like, basically empty to full tank. In terms of ride quality, this car does get a bit bumpy compared to my Insignia. Not as bad as my Fiesta. That was really solid in terms of ride quality. You could be jumping all over the place. If anybody's going to buy a Max 6 Fiesta, they are very, very unreliable. This Volvo is actually the most reliable car I've had. But then people said that about my Volvo Insignia as well, that they aren't reliable. Never had a single problem with that car. But as it is in the title of this video, this is all about the Volvo S40, so I'll stop talking about the other 3 cars I've owned this year. Bear in mind I'm still in my first year of driving. So I'm going to go on to insurance costs next. This car a month cost me £252. That's because of that I got no black box in this car. I never had a black box in any of my vehicles. The cheapest vehicle I had, I know I said I weren't going back to talk about the other cars. Cheapest one I had was actually my van. That was £119 a month, which was way more affordable than this car. But I still love this Volvo, and I have looked at other cars to replace it maybe later on this year. But in terms of right now, I don't want nothing to replace this car. It's good enough, fast enough for me. It has got a top speed of 134 miles an hour, this car. Does 0 to 60 in 9.3, and it's only got 127 horsepower in this car. Not much. My Vauxhall Insignia had 178, but then like that's a bigger engine, because this is a 2 litre and that was a 2.2, but it was much more thirstier on diesel compared to my Volvo. But anyway, I'm 21 years old, still in my first year of driving until August 2021. Yeah, it's just, this car's had no problems at all. My father did own this car, I'm not gonna lie, he did own this car before I had it. I paid it off him for this car, and now I've got it. And as you can see, child seats right by there, so I do take the kids out and about quite a lot in this car, to be fair. Ride quality is okay. I know I just said like it does get bumpy, and honestly it does. Handling of the car is actually the best handling car I've driven so far, and I've driven a load of cars. I've driven a VW Golf. I do love them, even though the ride quality itself is great, but the handling of the car is okay. But then I've got driving the other cars that I've had, with the van, the Fiesta and the Insignia. Best handling cars is Volvo, by far. Small little turn-ins, look, like it just turns instantly. You have to put that much of steering angle and it just turns. No other car of mine that I've had does that. Okay, his current value of this car isn't great at the moment, or resale value. The maximum you're going to get for these is about 500-600 quid. People do sell them privately, like as themselves, and you can get up to £2,000 for these cars. In terms of modifications for this car, I'm not doing any. I like this car as it is, and I don't want to go spoiling it. But I am possibly looking to change this car maybe next year for something a bit more sporty and faster. Probably, I have looked at a Volvo C30 T5 engine. So it's very throaty. Ooh, going off topic. It's a nice M5. Anyway, get back to the subject, guys. And this car, I don't know if I want to keep it, but I don't really want to get rid of it either, because I generally do like this car. In terms of options, do I recommend you buying one? Or if I should say in 4 different subjects, would I shortlist it, avoid it, think about it, or just buy it? I would shortlist it, only because of it's not for what everybody wants. For me, it's great. It's, you know, it's still my first year and I got a 2 litre car, turboed as well. Don't know if you could hear that on camera, but that's a little bit of turbo sound. Yeah, but as an all-rounder on my first year, this car is honestly the car that I wished I bought in the first place. And I have got a background story on this car, but I'll make another video on that. Basically, I'll give you a quick little teaser for the video to come. This car, I'm pretty sure I've seen for sale before I passed my test 2 years ago, and it's followed me everywhere since then. Not those terms that like physically follow me behind when I'm doing when I was doing my driving lessons or my theory stuff and all that. But in terms of buying a car, this, I'm pretty sure this was the exact same car that kept popping up for sale. And then obviously in the end my dad bought it, and then I bought it back off him. if you are 21-year-old and you've just passed your test, I wouldn't have advised buying a Volvo S40 because it's truly expensive. My insurance cost is obviously £254, as I said just now, and that's a month, not a year. My year is £3,000, and I think it's £3,100 for a year on this car. This car averages about 59 mile a gallon on diesel. So to be fair, it is actually really good. Distracted again by another old RS6, my bad. But yeah, true, I don't think I'll sell this at any point for anything else at the moment. I have looked at other cars like A-classes, Audi S1s. The A-class was an AMG line, by the way. I've looked at BMW M Sports. But it's like, I'm still in my first year. So, but at the end of the day, I should be grateful for what I got. Because that's what all these youngsters don't get. They get the mothers and fathers to get their cars on finance in their name and all this stuff. And if they can't afford it, the parents buy them out. My parents don't work like that. So wherever I get, I have to pay myself. If I don't pay, then I don't get it. It's the same as people probably thinking right now, or I know a friend of mine probably thinks that this car, I didn't even pay for it, my father gave it to me. Trust me, my father's tight, and he won't give me nothing for free. I have paid the full amount for this car. I bought it off him for £1,000. But like I said, I've driven 1,365 miles in it now, and it's just, the handling is really, really good. I know I keep coming back to the same subjects all the time, but it truly is. I put brand new Brembo brakes on it the other day. I was going to go for an overtake then, but car came in, so I couldn't do that. This car is nippy. Don't really want to say on camera how fast I have gone in this car, but it's over 100, and it is over 110. But yeah, short little review on this car then. Would I recommend to anybody to buy one? Not on your first year, but on your second year, yeah. Just because it's an old car and it's 2003 and it's a Volvo, and people call me, well, at least my friends, they call me Grandad. But I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care how much insurance cost is. Well, I do. It's got to be affordable at some point. Like, the tax isn't that bad in this car. It's only £15 a month, I think. It's £150 a year anyway. Yeah, but I generally recommend anybody to buy one of these. If you are interested in a Volvo and you're not too sure because like you're young and you're 21, maybe you've had your driving license for 3 or 4 years, then why not? Your insurance prices probably come down by then. Don't get a black box. That's the only thing I recommend for young insurance drivers. Everybody goes for the black box. Yeah, it's cheaper. That's great. So everyone thinks. But you go for a speed bump at 20 mile an hour, that classes you as reckless driving. It's true. Sorry guys, I had to avoid a little collision in. A big black sheet came out of nowhere. But anyway, I generally recommend that you buy this car if you've been driving for more than a year. But if you can afford to pay for this car monthly, for my area it's still quite high, but I suppose if you're like from London or something, maybe higher on your first year. Depends where you live in and what your region is. If you are watching this and you're from America or Korea or wherever you are from, or Sweden, because that's where this Volvo's from. All Volvos are from Sweden. If you are considering buying one and you're on your first year, I don't know what your insurance cost is, but for me in the UK, around Carmarthenshire area, because that's where I'm from. I'm not going to say specifically where I'm from, but mine's £254 a month. That's a month. But I'm still on my first year. I've already had a quote back from my insurance. I'm with Hastings Insurance, by the way, if you wanted to know that. But this car next year is going to go down to £174. So it does drop a fair bit. Well, nearly 100 quid it drops, really. But for a car that's only technically worth on the market £300, it's not worth nothing. See, if, in my opinion, I think car insurances, they shouldn't charge they shouldn't charge so much if a car's only worth like 300-400 quid. Fair enough, they're probably gone off the engine size, and they probably think of the risk of you crashing the car. I've never crashed any of my cars. I know a friend of mine's crashed into my dad's car once. But other than that, this car's great. Brakes work perfect. Well, no. Did have a problem the other day. I had, well, my calipers. But anyway, the brake pads had gone. So I needed to change and replace them. Thankfully, they're done now. And, yeah, that's it for this video then, guys. If you want to leave a comment and give us a like, that'd be great. Please make sure to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content coming soon, and the story about the background of this car, and hopefully catch you in my next video, guys.